We're sorry that we neglected your mental well-being for so many years, and so the government has created the new Comfort Allowance. £200 a month for you to spend on anything you need to enjoy better mental health. It might be counselling, short breaks, a day at a rejuvenating spa, or just a little of what makes you smile. All you need is a letter from a mental health professional as proof of entitlement. So, why not apply now at www.gov.uk/comfort allowance today.
Hannah and Tim Grow Old Disgracefully by Robert Chantler. Episode 3, Squirrel.
Oh, thanks for taking me out. I really mean it.
Well, this doesn't really mean you can come into our lives, but I suppose it's the least we can do.
Well, I'll say one thing for you, Simon. You might be a fat slob, but you're still a snappy dresser. I've never seen such shiny shoes.
Oh, yes. When I were in the army for a while, you see, it got drilled into you. Mind you, my boss at work, when he stood next to me, he put me in the shade.
Was he even bigger than you?
Shoe-wise, I mean. Scottish bloke, Hamish McStummer or other, I don't know. You could see your face in 'em.
Well, I hope he never wore a kilt, or you'd have seen a damn sight more than that.
Whoops. That was one I didn't want either.
Nor did we.
Never mind, Simon. Just move a bit further away.
Oh, I'll go on the next table if you like.
Or even further.
Hannah?
Well...
So you're going to give me your address then, eh?
No.
I'll find out, you know. I'll follow you home. You'll have to go home eventually.
I'll get a restraining order on out on you.
Oh, you wouldn't. Your own brother?
Oh, yeah. How would you like it if we just dropped in on you?
I'll be delighted.
Yeah, well, we like our own space. I don't mind the odd meet-up, but that's as familiar as we get. Right, Tim?
Yes, darling. Whatever you say, darling.
Oh, she's got you wrapped round your little finger, eh?
She's had me wrapped round a damn sight more than that.
Well, what you do in your own, you know, well, and all that.
Yeah, well, let's order.
It's really hard.
Sorry, darling, I've got a headache.
I mean the dilemma. You know, about Simon.
I don't want him round here. He was irritating and nerdy even when he was a kid. And if he's been in health and safety for 30 odd years, he'll know chapter and verse of all the health and safety law, and he'll go on and on about it. Did you know that section 3 subsection 4 of blah 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 bollocks says? He must not find out where we live. Yesterday I managed to lose him, but we won't be so lucky next time.
Well, following him into the gents and supergluing the lock was a bit over the top. I bet the landlord was annoyed.
Yeah, well, probably, but he doesn't have to know it was me, so that's fine. Anyway, it gave us a head start.
Well, sadly, darling, the retirement home is less than a quarter of a mile from our house, so I think we'll need a plan B.
Oh, we should talk to Karen, she's so creative.
Anyway, changing the subject, are you going to apply for this new comfort allowance? Finally make your mental health problems pay dividends?
You say I'm not mental?
Yes.
I knew it all these years, and all the time you thought I was nuttier than Squirrel shit.
I always thought so, but my bollocks begged me to keep my thoughts private. All I'm saying, darling, is that if you get a letter from a psychiatrist or something, you could apply and get $200 a month to spend on lovely spa days and trips out and nice things. I would if I had the chance.
Well, I'm not admitting to having mental problems just to get a couple of hundred. It's dishonest, and I have my reputation to think about.
Well, if I was mental, I'd admit I was mental for £200 a month. I'm not proud. Yeah, well, maybe see what Karen thinks, eh?
I hope you don't mind me bringing Tim along. He'll behave.
I'm not a dog.
Well, I hear you spent a fair amount of time on a lead. No, it's fine. You're discreet, aren't you, Tim?
Compared to Hannah? Absolutely.
I'm discreet. Look at that barman. I love your arse.
You wouldn't know discreet if it punched you in the face.
Well, discreet wouldn't do that because he wouldn't be discreet, so it shows what you know.
What?
You said you needed my advice.
Family problem?
You know the apocryphal family that has the mad spinster in the attic?
Yes.
Well, Hannah has a brother from hell who's moved to Shepperton and he lives 1/4 mile from our house.
I see.
And we don't want him to find out where we live.
And he's determined to find out.
So that's the problem.
Well, if you want my opinion, here it is. You're fucked.
Oh, great.
Well, you could creep around Shepperton hoping he doesn't see you for the rest of your life. Or you could move. Or I guess you could try, I don't know, being nice to him.
I mean, he's not nasty or anything. He just butts in all the time and he's got no one he knows in Shepperton except us, so he feels compelled to spend every waking moment with us. He bumps into us in the shops. He bumps into us in the pub. It's only a matter of time.
He's like the boring relative that calls round unannounced and shows their holiday photos, like their house care. But he wouldn't bring holiday pics because he's too boring to go away. Instead, we get to see his collection of health and safety armbands. Or his collection of hard hats. He's always collected nerdy stuff, even when he was a kid.
Well, if you give me some advice, I'll try and think of a solution for your problem. Deal?
OK. What's your problem?
Is it lady things? Because if it is...
Well, it's about sex, actually.
Ah. OK, well, I'll see how it goes.
I know Chris has been talking to you, Tim, about seeing a therapist regarding what he thinks is this sexually frustrated old maid.
Oh, who's that then?
Me! God's sake. Well, I'm not, obviously, but he thinks I am.
There was one time a few years ago after we had Josh where our sex life went through a bit of a lull and we went to see this sex therapist. I mean, obviously, keep this to yourself.
Of course.
She suggested we should abstain for a while and that would make us enjoy it more when we started having sex again. So, we got these 2 inflatable sumo costumes and put them on and thought it would be fun if we tried to have sex wearing the costumes, which of course was impossible.
Yeah, because my willy was inside the
Yes.
costume.
Realising that. And did it work, Han?
Oh yeah. Soon we were rolling about the floor laughing ourselves stupid. We'd forgotten how much fun we could have without actually having sex.
I see.
Then we tore the costumes off and shagged each other senseless.
Brief period of abstinence, then.
Yeah, but it made us realise that what we needed was variety. That's how we ended up doing our bondage and stuff.
Well, I don't think I'll be getting involved in anything like that. Anyway, using abstinence won't help us because we don't do it now. The real reason we don't really have any sex anymore is because Chris, and please don't tell him this, isn't very good in bed.
Oh.
It isn't long since we were talking in the pub and, don't tell him this, but he was going to try this new wonder drug that makes Viagra seem insignificant. Either he didn't, or it didn't work. I could ask him next time we meet, discreetly, of course.
Well, I suppose it's a start. Anyway, if you want a solution to keep Simon away, I've got it.
Hannah used to say that at uni when she picked up the clap.
Is there anything Simon hates?
Road workers who don't wear ear defenders.
And have you got a few who you could bring round and do sentry duty?
Funny. Oh my God! A dog!
A dog?
Yes, Simon hates dogs. He's terrified of dogs, especially big ones. Alice wanted one once when we were teenagers and he threatened to leave home. Shame she didn't go ahead and buy one.
Darling, dogs need feeding, walking, taking to the vets. And they get wet and they get that wet dog smell every time it rains.
Well, you don't actually have to get a dog. As long as he thinks you have a dog. Could you borrow one? Dog sit in Alsatian for a few weeks until he's convinced?
That's a good idea.
Or get a doorbell that sounds like a dog barking.
Well, he'd see there was no dog through the glass. I mean, what do I do? Wear a rug on my back and run up to the door on all fours?
Ooh.
Hannah?
You could get a solid front door and rig up something like a punch bag that hits the door after the barking starts. You've got a PhD, Tim. You're not that inept with your hands.
He's very good with his hands.
She means in a DIY sense, darling. Anyway, I like our door.
But between the door and not hiding from Simon, I hope the door goes. Put it in the garage or something, and when Simon dies, we can put it back.
Well, I'll see. Now it's my turn to put something on the table.
Well, I've always been curious if it's as good as Hannah said it was.
Not my knob, a problem.
Let me guess. It's about the new mental health benefit, isn't it?
How did you know?
I've known Hannah for 35 years. At this point in time, what else could it be?
Hello, everyone. Can I join you?
Tony, it's been a while.
Haven't seen you since the funeral.
So this is your local now?
Well, it's my local.
I was just passing through on my way to see Philippa. Porter's eloped with some bit of rough and been disinherited. And it looks like I might be left Sir Charles's mansion.
Oh my God. Can we have the annex and then we'll get away from Simon?
She hasn't died yet. She's a game old bird anyway. She'll probably outlive me.
We were just talking about the comfort allowance.
Oh yes, I saw the advert the other night and I thought of you.
You mean me?
Well, of course.
Yes, well, I was briefly tempted, but my reputation has to come first.
I don't want to be blunt, darling, but although people who know don't say so to your face, they all think you're nuttier than a squirrel's larder. So why not just play along and cop the lolly?
I don't know, darling. I mean, pretending to be mental, I'd have to go cross-eyed and tell them I was hearing voices and stuff.
You don't have to do the full psycho act, darling. You know, stress, phobias, anxiety and stuff, they qualify you as well.
I don't have phobias.
You're scared of the word.
Rubbish.
Spiders, Friday the 13th, farts, germs.
They are rational fears. Phobias are irrational.
How many people do you think are scared of farts?
Loads, probably. But it's not actually something you generally ask people, so how would you know?
Changing the subject, how are things at the top, Tony?
Fantastic. I have the penthouse suite. It has an apartment attached that Sir Charles didn't use, with a luxury bathroom, 2 bedrooms, fitted kitchen, study, everything. Then there's the boardroom and my office, and my PA's office, and the views are just amazing. And I've been there 1 month now and haven't done any work at all other than delegate tasks to the members of the board.
It's the perfect job for you, Tony. Like all CEOs, the company runs itself and you just bathe in the riches.
My wife could move in and we could rent out our house and we'd easily get $2,000 a month for it. Prime Richmond property. And even better, if I screw everything up and get the boot, I still get $5 million. Result.
Normal people would just get their cards.
So what is the package?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
This financial year I get £700,000 in salary plus $100,000 in stocks and shares plus a first-class rail season ticket plus a company Bentley, Bupa Platinum health insurance, 20 weeks annual leave, final salary pension, and then there's...
Okay, that's enough.
Bugger me, I can't believe Tony's package.
Well, I look better having lost some weight.
He means your remuneration, not your body. You've gone from Buddha to Buddha Light, I suppose. How much did you lose?
3 stone. In 4 months.
Well done, that's really good. Good luck with the dog thing and think about the allowance, okay?
Well, it's time to test the Simon deterrent. Go outside and ring the bell, darling.
Okay. Sounds good from out here. But a big noisy dog would thud against the door, wouldn't it?
Well, I suppose. Also, the dog sounds like it's by the door. Wouldn't it come to the door if the bell rang?
I suppose. I mean, it sounded fine to me, though. It'll only work a few times max before it gets the message.
I'll rig up a punch bag to hit the door when the barking starts. No idea how it will trigger, but I guess my scientific brain will come up with something.
The lights have gone out.
What? Oh yes, it's a power cut.
Oh, great. What if he comes round now? You and your big mouth.
Shh! Get into the lounge, fast, and keep quiet.
Anna? Tim? You there? I found out where you live. Maggie in the post office told me. Hello? Now I know you're there. It's me, Simon. Got my health and safety collection to show you.
Sod off, Simon. You'll go away in a minute.
You in there? It's Simon. All right, well, I'll be back later.
Stay quiet for a bit longer. He'll probably be still looking through the letterbox to make absolutely sure, because I don't think he believed us.
We have got to get a dog.
No!
Look, we only need one for a day or two, so he thinks we've got one.
And you'll be buying tins of dog food in Sainsbury's and then putting them discreetly in the food bank, I suppose.
If I need to.
And when you suddenly aren't walking the dog...
You're just looking for problems, aren't you? Trust me, all we have to do is find an Alsatian to borrow. No, can I ask?
Well, don't worry, darling. I'll just get out my old Rolodex.
Oh, Sarkipus.
Hello.
How did you get in?
Climbed over the fence and came in back door.
What, with that suitcase?
Oh, I'm fit for my age.
Yeah, well, Tim and I are fit for our age.
Yes, and as long as I have a good quality of life.
Tim's told me when he wants me to pull the plug.
I have.
Well, the only thing I really fear is losing my memory. I think if I lost my ability to remember things, I'll probably top myself.
I know, you told me that yesterday.
Did I?
Hannah. Sorry, Simon. It's just my wife's idea of humour.
No. She just doesn't like me. Never did.
No, I just don't want to sit through a boring tour of your health and safety collection, whatever the hell that is.
Oh, come on, Simon. Show us your collection and I'll put the kettle on.
And very nice you'll look in it too.
Ha-ha.
And promise me, Simon, when we've seen your collections, you'll go home. So you see, we don't want to have a dog long term. We just need to borrow one for a few days.
If you adopt one of our dogs, you adopt a dog for life. We're not a dog library. Very sorry, Mrs. Spencer, but I can't help you.
I put 50p in your collection tin last month.
Well, thank you. That was very kind.
So can I have an Alsatian then?
Sorry.
Cow.
Hannah.
Just a minute. Tim, why don't we say we want one for good, and then when Simon's got the message, we'll sell it?
Who'll buy a second-hand Alsatian?
I don't know.
Well, she won't believe us now. Borrowing Philippa's guard dog for a week was inspired.
Yeah, who'd have thought Tony would come up with an idea like that?
He's quite fierce.
Well, as long as he keeps his muzzle on, he can bark and he won't eat us.
I bet Simon won't come now.
I hope he does, because I don't want this big dog any longer than necessary.
And meanwhile, darling, have you changed your mind about getting the mental allowance?
No, I can't take something I'm not entitled to. It would be wrong.
Oh my God! They got the dog!
Yes, it worked.
All right, calm down. You haven't been that excited since you realised you could use your rabbit in the bath without electrocuting yourself.
No more Simon, yeah.
Yeah, well, just remember, darling, he might be irritating, but he's not stupid. So I'd hang on to the dog a bit longer if I were you.
No, he won't come round again. And I want this mutt back with Philippa ASAP.
I have to tell you something, darling, because you'll find out very soon.
What have you done?
I went to see Dr. Kent.
What? Why? I specifically told you not to do that, didn't I?
Yes, mistress. I mean, darling. But look, wait, before you kill me, just hear me out, okay?
Okay, but this had better be good.
You don't have to be mentally ill to qualify. You qualify if you can prove you're stressed. Everyone gets stressed, even me. Well, Dr. Kent said he'd write to the relevant department and say you'd seen him for stress and he thought you would be eligible. So you can have the benefit without admitting, pretending, you're mental.
Good, because I am not mental.
Yeah, well, whatever makes you happy. Just think happy thoughts about what you can do with that extra dosh.
All right. Thank you, darling. How was Dr. Kent anyway?
Oh, a bit down. Well, £1,000 a week down, actually. Lost a patient. He'd been coming 3 times a week for 10 years.
Blimey, I bet he's wrist served.
How do, Anna? Tim?
God. Hello.
Hello, Simon.
So you brought a dog then?
Yeah.
Just to stop me coming round here.
Yeah.
So, where's the dog then?
He's gone for a walk.
Really?
Well, on his own.
Rubbish.
She's joking. He's at home.
No, he's not. Because I've just been round here. So, whose dog did you borrow then? Come on, I'm not daft.
A friend's.
Simon, it's not that we don't like you, it's just that we're used to our privacy and a quiet life and we don't want people coming round, including you. We can meet at the pub or bump into each other in the street, but just don't keep coming round uninvited, okay?
All right.
Thanks, Simon. You're fine in small doses, but I want to choose when to host you, all right?
Oh, all right. So we'll be friends then, eh, sis?
Yeah, friends. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have a bus to catch.
You've been listening to Sue Ford as Hannah, Rob Chantler as Tim, Syra Kingsley as Karen, Geoff Meddleton as Chris, Philippa Stuart as the voice of the government, and Rob Day as Simon. Script and direction was by Robert Chantler, the audience coordinator was Matt Richards, and the producer was Victoria Lawrence. This has been a Free Theatre Company production.